Krishnaji and I were having the book launch 2 years ago. Everybody asked this one question. And they were not very happy with the answer we used to give, actually. They wanted us to see in actually deep suffering, and then an awakening happened. That story was not complete for them, especially the PR. It felt like, okay, you're missing something now. The story has to be completed where you were here and then suddenly happened and then you got this. I said, we don't have a story like that. We have a story of awakening for sure, but not that we were in a whirlwind of suffering and problem and then we had this awakening. It wasn't like that. But the world, actually it is not earlier, I'm not sure if it was earlier, but right now it feels like when a person is presenting a story, it has to happen that way. It has become a formula, I would say. This idea that suffering is a blessing, suffering is there to teach you a lesson, suffering is given to you by God. It is for a reason that you are suffering. These are all actually philosophical ideas that make you run away from suffering. Suffering disconnects you. Suffering makes you into a conflicted human being. Suffering makes you sad. When you're sad, you perpetuate sadness. When you're anxious, you create anxiety around you. When you're stressed, you build more stress around you. That is the truth. Suffering, there's nothing glorious about suffering. And that I'm sure everyone over here have understood. Suffering creates further suffering. It is a state where you are totally disconnected from probably the child whom you love the most. And how to teach it to the teens? You have to live in a state of no suffering. They have to feel you being a very joyful person, being a very loving, kind, connected person. Then they will learn from you. It is not the teens who have come up with this formula. It is probably this generation, or earlier generation, that has come up with this formula. And we are putting it on the teens.